At this time, I would like to ask you all to please rise for our processional. You'll be there. And at this time, you may be seated. And I would like to introduce Dr. Joel Jenswald. He's the Director of Academic Programs for the School of International Studies.
Thank you, Janet. Good evening. Welcome. As you just heard, my name is Joel Jenswald. I'm the Director of Academic Programs for the School of International Studies here at Oklahoma State University. And as you're already all aware, this is our graduation and hooding ceremony for our spring 2017 class of master's students in international studies. School of International Studies does a great many things here on campus, and the academic programs does more than just run the graduate program. In addition to coordinating the program for which these candidates are about to receive their degrees, we also help manage scholarship opportunities for students around campus for overseas study of a couple of different varieties. We help coordinate Fulbright and Boren scholarship proposals, both for faculty and students here at OSU. We oversee an undergraduate minor in interdisciplinary international studies, and we also provide various support services for faculty all over campus who want to bring visitors from other institutions, other countries, and visiting scholars from overseas. So we do a great many things, but really the crown jewel, the flagship of the program is the master's degree in international studies. We also have a couple of graduate certificates, which are not quite degree programs, but provide specialized expertise in certain areas like international disaster and emergency management and global studies or global issues. But the degree program is a complete master's degree, and we're very proud of it. We're very proud of our graduates. It's been in existence since 1999, so we're now building up a substantial base of alumni. And you know, for students in this program, they go through the same sorts of things that other graduate students do on campus, but in a way it's a little different and a little special. It takes a special kind of vision, and I'd say even courage, to engage in an interdisciplinary program like this. And the reason is that you have all the demands of students in what you might regard as traditional programs, but you don't really have the same support network. A student in a traditional program, say political science, sociology, geography, has a set faculty, has a group of people that they're used to working with. And they have a cohort of colleagues, fellow students, that they're moving through the program with. Well, we have that too, but our students scatter to different departments, different colleges, different programs. So they don't really have the same sort of academic security blanket, so to speak. So it takes a little courage because our students go through the same courses with the same faculty members, sit in the same rooms, take the same exams, do the same assignments as people in those other programs. And that takes a special sort of person. So we're here to celebrate them and to celebrate their accomplishment tonight. And that's what today is all about. It's the end of finals week. Everybody's kind of trying to find their balance after what is really sort of the busiest time of the semester. But now is when we stop and we sort of step back and say, okay, you made it, congratulations. But we do this in a very peculiar way. We do it by dressing up in 16th century costumes. You know, you look at this, I mean, what are you going to do with this? It's good for Halloween parties maybe, or if you're expecting an appointment to the judicial bench, I guess. But other than that, that's it. Academic regalia has no other function other than the ceremonial one for events like this. But ceremony is important. Ceremony is important because it tells us where we've been, who we are, what we aspire to. Academic regalia is all symbolic. It's all about symbolism, but the symbolism is all meaningful. If you look at what our graduates here tonight are wearing, and you look carefully, you'll notice that their gowns are not exactly like ours. That's because we have PhDs and they don't. Well, and their gowns are not like undergraduates. That's because they have master's degrees and the undergraduates don't. So even the cut of the gown and what's on it, you know, we get these little chevrons and panels and stuff, makes a difference. It means something. You'll see some of our graduates tonight wearing cords of various colors. If you go to the larger ceremony tonight at Gallagher-Iba Arena, you'll see all of the graduate students from around campus, and you'll see all kinds of different things, you know, trappings, medals like this, cords, pins sometimes. They all mean something. They all symbolize something significant in terms of that individual's activities and accomplishments. But of all these things, the one that's most meaningful, the one that's most important, is the hood. And here again, you'll see some variation. If you look at us on stage or you look at faculty tonight in Gallagher-Iba or any other large gathering of them, you'll notice that the colors are all different. That's because the academic hoods are always rendered in the colors of the degree granting institution. So our graduates tonight will all have hoods with the orange and black of OSU as the main interior colors. You'll notice that they're also gold trimmed. Even that means something. That's the symbol of a Master of Science degree as opposed to a Master of Arts. It's the hood carrying the colors of the degree granting institution that is the most genuine and meaningful symbol of advanced academic accomplishment. And for that reason, way back when the School of International Studies was founded, a decision was made to have a special ceremony for our graduates to bestow the hood in recognition of their success in our program. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So it's a time to celebrate, even if it involves dressing up rather strangely. And it's a time to enjoy the accomplishments of our students. Before we go any further, I'd like to take just a minute and point out some of the people on stage and in the audience. You don't really do this, especially in a program like ours. You can't really do this without the active engagement of dedicated faculty members who are willing to take our students on, take them into their classes, take them under their wings in mentorship capacity, advise them, oversee their work. And this all happens in addition to the normal duties and expectations that the various academic departments and colleges have for their faculty. The faculty members who help our students and engage with them do it out of sheer interest in those individuals and our program, and we cannot function without them. And so tonight, joining me on stage and to help hood some of our candidates, we have on my far left, your far right, Dr. Stephen Perkins of the Sociology Department, and then next to him, Dr. Kevin Voss of the Marketing and International Business Department. Also joining me on stage to the right is Dr. David Henneberry, who is the Associate Vice President for International Studies and Outreach, the parent unit of the School of International Studies. And Janet Heron, at the end of the stage, is our academic advisor. And she's really the one who kind of gets everybody through the enrollments and the complexities of navigating an interdisciplinary program such as I've been describing to you. There are a couple of other people I would like to just point out very quickly. One of our scholarships that we administer in the school is a long-term study abroad travel grant that is part of a very generous endowment by Don and Kathy Humphreys. And part of the Don and Kathy Humphreys endowment is a set of travel grants which are administered by a series of faculty chairs, designated faculty chairs, and we have a couple of them with us tonight. I would just like to acknowledge their presence. One is Dr. Kevin Voss here on stage with me. We also have with us Dr. Paulette Hebert from Human Sciences Department over here, and Dr. Sheeta Henneberry from Agriculture and Natural Resources in the back. So these are our Humphreys chairs who are responsible for administering what is very often quite generous funding for students to engage in long-term activities abroad, be it traditional study abroad. In the case of graduate students, more typically it's an internship or a special project or field research of one sort or another. So I'd like to have some acknowledgement for these individuals as especially engaged faculty members. I would also like to take a moment and point out Dr. Celeste Tabor at the back table. Dr. Tabor always comes to our events. She is the university registrar, which means that, well, it means she probably goes through a lot of Excedrin. University registrar, if you're not familiar, is the office that is responsible for maintaining and keeping updated and processed all student records. So without her interest and activity and efficiency, and the efficiency of her office, none of these people would be graduating. In fact, we have no idea where they'd be. And that's really where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, as far as the administrative and academic progress processing. And so we're very grateful for Celeste's support over the years as well. I thought I saw former Congressman Wes Watkins. There he is. He moved on me. Congressman Watkins, you may have noticed as you were coming in the building that the name on the building is Wes Watkins. This is not a coincidence. Wes and his wife, Lou Watkins, who's currently chair of the OSU Board of Regents, are longstanding supporters of the program, not just in terms of donations and establishing scholarship programs and supporting our students, but in more general programmatic terms as well. And we're always happy to have him join us and have his support. Thanks for coming, Wes. And then finally, one of our most recent programs, also the result of a generous donation from individuals outside who are interested in helping enhance the academic experience and global understanding of our students, not just in our program, but across the university. As a result of the generosity of the Farzaneh family down in Moore, they are the largest home builders in the state. We were able to last year establish a new program in Iranian and Persian Gulf studies. And so for the past year, we've been working on putting together a program, generating interest, bringing in speakers, establishing international visibility and academic credibility. And our point person on this is someone who came in just last year as the Farzaneh family scholar in Iranian and Persian Gulf studies, and he's with us here tonight, Dr. Pedram Husranejad. The program, aside from the academic component of the program, one of the things that has been consistently true across the years is that about half of our students in the master's program have come from the United States, and about half of them have come from countries overseas. So I always tell people that it's a pretty good place to have an international experience without actually having to buy a plane ticket, because the cohorts of our students at any given time represent, over the years, it's been anywhere from 12 to 24 different countries. And you'll see that reflected in our graduating group tonight. The flags on the stage behind us, actually, these are not randomly selected. These are flags that are selected to represent the countries of origins of our non-US students who are graduating tonight. And this is pretty typical. So it's in addition to the academic component, an important part of this program has always been the opportunity to meet and interact informally, network eventually with people from a variety of cultures and different places around the world. So I think it's been a good experience for everyone. I know it's rigorous, and I know because of the nature of it, it has some special challenges. And our graduates tonight have met those challenges and are now ready to, well, they're probably ready to celebrate, but they're ready to move on and start looking for new opportunities and ways to exert their skills, networks, and take with them, we hope, a little piece of what their experience here has been, both in the classroom and with each other in less formal, but in many ways equally important sorts of ways. So that's why we're here. And that's why we're dressed up like we're doing impersonations for Reformation skits or movies. And with that, I'd like to turn the podium over to Dr. David Henneberry for a few words. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, and first I'd like to offer my congratulations to all of our graduates. We are proud of you. You're very special people to us, and congratulations on this very special day in your lives when you have earned this graduate degree, and we look forward to conferring that in just a few minutes here. And I'd like to welcome all of the families of our graduates and thank you for coming here to celebrate this day with us. And I know some of you came from other countries, some of you came from other states. We're so happy to have you here on the Oklahoma State University campus and sharing this very special day with your graduate student who is about to receive their degree here at Oklahoma State University. I'd like to give you just a brief update on the Division of International Studies and Outreach and just tell you a few of the things that have been happening over the past few years. I see the Study Abroad office is kind of at that table in the back corner there, and they have had a very successful time. Over the past 5 years, they work with the whole university, but also in particular with the outreach offices in each of the colleges. And that team effort has doubled the number of students that have studied abroad at OSU. So let's give them a round of applause. Because here, more than anywhere else, we really appreciate the value of study abroad and how much it brings to the university and to the individual students' experiences. And we also have the Wes Watkins Center for International Trade and Development. And if you think about that, right now, the state of Oklahoma has some really big budget problems. And those budget problems are big enough that they're going to affect the educational sector. We're going to take some cuts, and cuts in funding. Of course, we'll do everything we can to work in a way that those cuts don't affect us or the quality of our programs very much, but still, the solution to situations like that is increased international trade and more economic development in the state of Oklahoma. And so that we hope that that center can make a contribution in that area. You know, when you look at the rankings of Oklahoma, the national rankings on amount of money spent per capita on education, on attainments in various ways, a lot of times we don't rank as highly as we would like to. And all of us can play a part in changing that by doing what we can to contribute toward enhanced international trade and economic development and growth. Of course, Congressman Watkins has spent the last 3 or 4 decades of his life pushing for increased emphasis on that area, and Congressman, we thank you for that. The master's program has been, the graduate program, which we have on the second floor of this building, is in a constant state of change and improvement, and they've been evaluating their offerings, adding graduate certificates. We have an undergraduate minor that didn't exist a few years ago, and we are always looking for ways that we can take the subject area of international studies and make it stronger and more applicable to our students. It's one of those areas that there's great diversity in the academic interests of our students and in what they go on to do in their life. And that's one of the things I really like about this program, because we see so much variety in the success of our students. We have some that are going into PhD programs, 2 students spending the summer in Bratislava. We have a group of graduates here in front of us, and some of them know what they're going to do and some of them don't. But I can tell you from past experience, you're all going to be successful, and it's all going to work out. You know, when you're getting ready to graduate and you don't know what you're going to do, it is a stressful time in your life, because you're thinking every day about what you should do to kind of get everything organized. And I can just, I know it sounds hard to believe when you're in your shoes, but it just hang in there, do the right things, looking for jobs, think about how you want your life to progress. And we've seen it happen before, and we're 100% confident in your abilities. And congratulations again on the completion of your program. The Division of International Studies at Oklahoma State University, it's the unit that provides leadership on international issues for all of the colleges at OSU. And we have a set of relationships internationally that focus on a couple of countries that are really important for OSU, and on a wide variety of countries that are important for some of our individual faculty members and research projects here at the university. We have about 1,100 international trips by OSU employees every year. So if you think about that, that's 80 or 85 people on average overseas every month. And all of that travel approval comes through our office, but also a lot of the preparation and follow-ups for all of that travel. And that's one of the things we do here is we manage the relationships with our partner institutions overseas. We have a special emphasis on Mexico, on China, and on Ethiopia. Those are three areas that have been very important for OSU. Mexico, because it's such a significant trading partner. And right now, of course, there's a huge engine of growth in Mexico. And I think we're going to see a large change in the country in the near future. Mexico exports more than all of the other countries in Latin America combined. That includes, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia, all of Central America. Mexico alone, it exports more than all of those countries. And that's because they've invested in education, they have invested in a productive infrastructure to support those exports. China, of course, is a center of global population and also a large exporting country. The U.S. is, we import a lot of products. There's no doubt about that. We've made that transformation from a producer-based economy to a service-based economy. I don't know what the future holds for the U.S., but it's unlikely that we'll go back to a production-based economy. And if that's the case, then our trade relationships will continue to be really important because they're going to be, that's where we're going to be able to attain a lot of the advancement and growth is through trading the services that we produce for other physical products produced in other countries. And many of these graduates seated in front of us are going to be a part of that. All of the changes that come in the world. And if you ever wonder about the importance of international studies, just pick up a newspaper or a magazine and count how many articles focus on that area of internationalization. It's really kind of surprising when you do it. And it makes you realize that literally everybody needs to know something about the other countries in the world and the overall international structure of this planet that we live on. Not everybody needs to be highly educated like these graduates in front of us, but everybody needs to have a basic knowledge of those areas because they've moved from being something that wasn't as important to just being a key part of our everyday life. And you can't get through a presidential campaign without some large international issues looming up as a big part of these campaigns, and that's because they have so much importance to the United States. Up on the third floor of this building, we have the English Language Institute, and many of the students seated here today have graduated from that. And it's so important to have that ability to offer to our students that ability to learn the English language well enough to progress from being an ELI student to being a student at OSU. And it's really hard because if you think about it, in graduate coursework, there's a lot of discussion where you're talking about the nuances of a subject, not just basic information, but something that you really have to be able to understand what someone else is talking about to get the message that they're trying to tell you. Because they're talking about the things that aren't obvious, that aren't easy to understand, that you've really got to think about. And so we're really proud of our ELI for having helped so many of those students to achieve fluency in English and to move on to both undergraduate and graduate programs here at the university. So I'm not going to talk any longer because we have some hooding to do here. And I would like to ask that why doesn't everybody join me in giving a round of appreciation to our graduates?
And at this time, I would like to ask our graduates to please stand up. And Monse, if you will lead them back, we will get started. Our first student to be hooded this evening is Hoida Al-Shamari, and she will be hooded by Dr. Joel Jenswald. Oh yeah, sorry. Our next student is Derek Bodmer, and he will also be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Derek is headed to Cyprus this summer, and then he'll be headed to Senegal in the fall to start the Peace Corps. Congratulations, Derek! Our next student is Sayaka Isoda, and she will also be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Our next student is Yujin Lee, and she will be hooded by Dr. Kevin Voss. Congrats. Our next student is Chelsea Meador, and she will also be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Her chairperson is Dr. Schreffler, and she was unable to be here this evening. Congratulations, Chelsea. Our next student is Tabitha Nicole Mullen, and she will also be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Thank you. Our next student is Z. Nadaf, and he will be hooded by Dr. Perkins. They're actually headed somewhere this summer in the middle of the ocean to do some anthropology work, and they can tell you the name of the island.
Carol.
Congrats. Our next student is Trang Wen, and she will be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Our next student is Maria Sol Ramirez Sands, and she will be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Our next student is Zed Sheikh, and he will be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. Congratulations. And our last but not least student is Montserrat Clalolini Pinal. She will be hooded by Dr. Jenswald. And Montserrat has been working with us with the Iranian and Persian Gulf Studies program. And I'm sure Dr. Khosranejad would also agree that she's been doing a great job. Congratulations. Oh, no, you're fine. Go ahead. And now I will turn it over to Dr. Jenswald.
Thank you, Janet, and congratulations to all of our graduates. Could we have a round of applause for our graduates one more time, please? Yes, well done. I'm going to go off script for just a minute here. This is where, if you look in your program, you're going to see closing remarks, but actually I have a couple of other things to do first. I mentioned earlier that we have a new program in Iranian and Persian Gulf Studies, and we've had 2 students come through our offerings for that program successfully so far, and so we have a certificate for those students. And I'd like to call them up to receive their certificate for successfully completing our program in Iranian and Persian Gulf Studies to date. So our first is Montserrat Clalolini Pinal. And our other successful completion of the Iranian and Persian Gulf Studies program is Lakin Dyson. Is Lakin here? She's actually not one of our students, but I thought she may appear. We'll get it to her later, but we do have a second, and it's Lakin Dyson. We have an awards ceremony in addition to this every year that we have in April. And at that ceremony, we make awards for our various scholarship programs. The School of International Studies has a number of pretty generous scholarships that have been established over the years. And that had gotten to a point where we felt we needed a separate ceremony to deal with it. So we instituted one a few years ago in April. And at that time, our student recipients for the various fellowships and scholarships that we handle internally are given out. But there's one award that we don't do then. We have an Outstanding Student Award that we do not announce. And in fact, even now, nobody but us knows who it is. We don't even notify the recipient. So it's kind of a surprise, even to the recipient. And this year's Outstanding Student for the School of International Studies is Sayaka Isoda. Sayaka, if you'll come up. Sayaka's originally from Japan. She's carried a 4.0 grade point average in our program, which is perfect. Her focus area is human development, society, and education, and she has a Bachelor of Science in Nutritional Science as of 2011. She's been a graduate teaching assistant with the International Student and Scholars Office here on campus for quite a while, helping our other international students navigate their way through the wiles and wonders of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State University as an institution. And so she's been very valuable in assisting with orientation and acclimation for people who otherwise would be, well, many of you know how difficult it is to walk into an alien environment and not just have to exist, but actually do something almost right away. It takes some support, and she was a very valuable element of that support for our International Student and Scholars Office along the way. She also was very active in Sister City, and Stillwater, Oklahoma is a sister city with Kamioka, Japan. And when we've had delegations through to celebrate that relationship, when we needed someone to help with logistics, someone to help with translation, she was always there, and she always did a wonderful job. So both in terms of academics and in terms of her extracurricular and community activities, we're very proud of Sayaka and what she was able to do. Sayaka, congratulations. Well, here we are. You made it. Almost, yeah. You still got to get the diploma tonight in Gallagher, Iowa, but for all intents and purposes, you're through. But before we depart and start going off to the main ceremony over in Gallagher, Iowa, or going our separate ways, I'd like to take a minute and echo what Dr. Henneberry said, and that is that those of you who are family and friends deserve a lot of recognition too. Nobody does this alone. We all know that. So no matter how good you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how capable you are, nobody succeeds in this kind of thing without a support network. And that's all of you people who've supported these folks, helped them, encouraged them, and what must to some of you at least seem to sort of a little off-kilter endeavor. Interdisciplinary studies, international studies, what is that? Yeah, we know. But they did it. They did it with your support. And so I'd like to acknowledge all of you. And thank you for supporting your students and by extension supporting our program with their activities and involvement with us. And as for you who are graduating, well, all I can say is I hope you remember your time with us as fondly as we remember your time here. There have been some ups and downs with some of you, of course, but that's par for the course. We're very, very proud of you. You're carrying on a very strong tradition that's been established by your predecessors, and we do hope that you're as proud and pleased with your experience with us as we are with what we've seen out of you folks over the last couple of years. As you go forward to your next step, whatever it may be, we do hope that you'll remember us. And if you become successful, we hope you'll consider taking steps to help support people who come in your footsteps. Same rationale. I was talking about the scholarships that we're able to offer. We have enough now, we need a whole separate ceremony for them. As many of you well know, those sorts of things are what make it possible for you to even pursue an endeavor like this, a path like this. And let me suggest to you that it's not all altruistic. It's not all because you want to be a good person or get a nice tax write-off. That helps. But in a way, it's an investment in your own degree. Insofar as we can grow the reach of the OSU degree around the globe, insofar as we can help enhance the prestige of it and raise the visibility and the regard for it, well, since you're holding degrees from this institution, that helps you in a very direct way too. So we hope you'll keep that in mind as you go ahead. It's an investment in your own future and in the value of your own degree as well. So you might consider that down the road. But for now, the formal part of the evening is over, except for those of you who are going on to the Gallagher IBIS ceremony. You'll need to leave for that in about 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll cue you from the podium when it's time to go. But in the meantime, we hope you'll take a few minutes and chat with each other, maybe take some photos over by the backdrop that we have set up, or with your friends or colleagues. We hope you'll enjoy what we have left of the buffet. And since you're dressed up for party time anyway, enjoy. And for the rest of you, especially those of you who came some distance to be with us, thank you for coming. We know that's a special effort to show support. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your support of your family members and students with us. We wish you safe travels home or wherever your next destination is, and a very good evening. Thank you and good night.